Hello and welcome to the Life as a Fitness Instructor podcast. My name is Lorna Marie and I'm your host. I'm a fitness presenter, brand creator of Yogascape, fitness instructor and wife and dog mum to little Harvey. Through this podcast, I really want to inspire and share tips and tricks and really be that friend in your headphones or your earbuds that I feel I never really had in the industry until now. So I'm trying to share as much of my passion with you as I possibly can so you can learn from me and everyone else who I interview on this podcast from their years of experience in the industry. If you enjoy this podcast and you get value from it, please do like, subscribe and share on your socials so we can help other people in this incredible industry where we get to change lives, but one that can also be really quite tough at times too. Let's support one another and lift each other up. I hope you enjoy this episode. Well, thank you so much, Jade, for coming on the Life as a Fitness Instructor podcast. It is a sunny Easter Saturday today.
The sun has arrived, finally. Where's it been?
I know. No, it's a gorgeous day. But I just want to say thank you so much for putting aside some time to come and chat to us. So this chat is all about you, about your journey, where you first started in the fitness industry to where you are now, and then where you want to take Rockbox. And maybe actually, if we could start with where you first started, but also what Rockbox actually is for anyone who's thinking, what is that? That sounds quite exciting. So go for it. Jade.
So Rockbox is kind of a fitness therapy session, we like to call it. It's a workout that is interval training based, that includes my love of boxing, and in between the boxing, the cardio that we do toning using drumsticks just for the fun of it, just to smash out lots of air guitars. It's a great fun workout, and obviously it's all to specifically rock music for the playlist, which is a healthy release of aggression, let's say, in our class. Or for like the good of letting it out, because we hold it in life so much. So it's good to let it out sometimes and it be okay. It be encouraged.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can say I tried it at Fit Jam in January and it was a brilliant class. I loved it. You know, when you do those classes where you're smiling so much that your cheeks hurt? That was me at the end of Rockbox.
It's weird that you describe it as like getting angry, but it makes you so happy too. It's weird. And I have people literally say to me, oh, like, you're the loveliest, angriest person I've ever met, which is so weird because they expect me to be like that all the time, but we're not because of it.
Yep. It allows you to be happy and release those good endorphins because you've just let it all out.
Exactly that.
Yeah, totally. So how did you first get started in the fitness industry, Jade?
Okay, well, I am not from many years of fitness background. I openly admit that all through my 20s, I was probably, a good 4 stone overweight, really unhappy, really unhealthy. Tried to dabble in exercise for myself. I'm not from, as I say, originally a fitness background. I was in hospitality. I was a landlady of a pub at 21. So I was always really ambitious, but I'd never found my fitness in general. I'd go along to classes with people and it'd be group exercise, or I'd buy a gym membership. And if I wasn't or hadn't got somebody barking orders at me to do something, I'd be really lazy. And then I'd go to group exercise, and if it was too dancey, I'd feel really silly because I'm not really a natural dancer. So I never found my fitness. And then turned 30 hit me, and looked in the mirror, was like wondering like what to wear for my party, and was just really unhappy in my body, really unhealthy. And I was like, something's got to change. What can I do? And I decided that it would be a good idea to go to a boxing gym. Just for like, I've always thought it might be fun to sort of like punch out and let out, any stress or aggression in that way. I'd done a little bit of body combat style class, and thought, oh yeah, that was all right. And so I went to the boxing gym and fell in love with it. And my life changed from that day. but I hadn't got, I did 2 fights in the end, but I hadn't got the competitive enough side of me. So what I mean by this is my last fight, I knew I was winning. I could see the girl on one of the rounds was kind of giving up. And so I started motivating her mid-fight, like pep talking, like, come on, we can do this, we can do this. Like, I know I'm in the wrong game here, but I love it. And like, so it was a bit weird. It was a bit, I wasn't competitive enough to be, I'd become fit enough to do it, but I'd not got a competitive side in me. So I was trying to find something where I could still get my fix of like the boxing and how it made me feel, but in a group environment. So we all win. We're all in it together, kind of thing. And that's when around that time I went along to a fitness event. Can I mention names? Can I mention the name of the fitness event?
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
for it.
okay. So the first one I ever went to was Fit Jam at Alton Towers. And I was like, what is this? I'd never experienced a world of like hundreds of people joining in with classes. And it was amazing. And that's when my business head sort of came on. That wouldn't it be good to create something that involved what I loved, which was boxing, a bit of toning, and to the music that I loved and that I'm passionate about, which is rock music. It's always motivated me. It's something that I've been brought up on, originally from my dad, taking me to gigs, listening to music, listening to records constantly. And it just motivated me in a different way. If I was in the boxing gym training alone, I'd have my headphones in and I'd have my rock on while everyone else was listening to more dance music. So that was where the idea was born in my brain. Let's put all those elements together and just see what happens. And that's how Rockbox began.
That's amazing. So it came from a place where you felt like you'd hit a turning point in your life, like with your health and fitness.
Yeah.
You felt like you hit a bit of a rock bottom. So you decided you're going to do something about it. And then all of a sudden, through doing the boxing side, different fitness, going to events, decided to make this huge concept that is Rockbox yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So originally, I didn't know it would become a brand as such. It was just the idea of, oh, wouldn't that be a great class to go to? Because I always struggled to find a class that was for me. And even at, these events, I joined in with things, and there were some things that I really enjoyed, but there was still not the music connection there. So I knew that there was a niche or something that could be added to the industry that was a little bit unique and a little bit different, and maybe there was more people like me that would appreciate that. Didn't know that at the time, that how big it could become or still will become. So it was just an idea, but obviously then went through to get qualified to teach. Did a assessor and tutors course. I went to the Hatton Academy to train advanced in the boxing techniques to teach boxing. Numerous things. It wasn't just quick overnight. Yeah, there's Rockbox. It was a lot of training behind the scenes, a lot of choreo, a lot of sorting the music out and the concept and the structure of the concept, which is really important to me. So there was a lot of work behind the scenes first. So that was back in like 2017. And then I'm from just a little town in Derbyshire called Chesterfield. It's only a small little town. Because
Well,
do you?
I'm not far. Yeah, I'm in Nottingham.
Oh, I was there last night at a gig.
Oh, no, you? No
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
pretty
Yeah, I'm in
last
Nottingham
night.
and I work in Mansfield. So yeah, not far.
You're local. Because of the boxing relation, obviously I got into the fitness industry, or like new people of. So I just thought, let's launch a class locally at a hall, see what people think. And that's what we did. We had a great turnout. It was a lot of support of more friends and people through the boxing gym that we knew to start. Got good feedback, so kind of built it up. Sometimes we'd have 2 people come along to classes, and if we'd have took it personally straight away, then Rockbox maybe would have never been a thing. But the feedback we started to get was, and the regular people coming back was really important. And we went from sort of a couple of people come in to 50 people come in every night. And it got bigger and bigger. A nurse was coming from our local hospital and asked us if we would put on a session for their mental health unit. And then we ended up getting funded to run a session every week there through the NHS because of the feedback they received was just incredible. That they've not been able to put a fitness class on. This is Freddie, by the way. The odd appearance, my therapy dog. So yeah, it's that was amazing, and to start doing different projects locally with our class. Such as working with adults with additional needs. We started working with a former substance abuse group, veterans, numerous different community projects, as well as the fitness classes. And the feedback was just getting better and better. So we contacted a few of these events to see if they would allow us to come and bring the brand to see how it went at these fitness events. And that's when I made contact with a lovely lady called Claire Goodliff, who, if you don't know, is now has an amazing business, called Amazing Jane, a clothing business. And she runs a fitness event at Ribby Hall and kindly offered us a spot in one of the little studios. Didn't know us from Adam, but gave us a chance.
Yeah.
And from that moment, that was it. Then obviously the feedback and people seeing the brand, and she recommended that we were endorsed through EMD UK. So that really helped us because obviously getting that endorsement and getting, you know, the brand, I suppose, the exposure for the brand, and the importance of knowing that it is working for people and it is good and it is helping a lot of people, and we can get it out to as many individuals as possible. Class goers and instructors is, you know, really important to us because it's having such an amazing impact on people's lives. And we didn't know that that would happen when we created it. I just knew that I love music, rock music, and punching out and boxing. But yeah, it became something else. It became something really special to a lot of people, I think, and they needed it in their lives.
Yeah.
And of course, then we went into lockdown mode, which was really tough for our industry. But we all found a way, didn't we, to carry on?
We
just
did.
as we are doing now, Zoom, and Rockbox was the only class, and the feedback we got from a lot of our instructors at that point was that was the class that was keeping people wanting to exercise online and was keeping them working.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was a tough time, and actually a time when a lot of instructors unfortunately left the industry. So to say that you carried on and managed to grow Rockbox beyond that point is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
I would love to know as well, just thinking from like a fitness instructor's perspective, we've all been there where we've done classes and you can put so much time and so much effort and energy into classes, and you might be getting 2-3 people week in, week out. And you said that's what you got at the start, but then obviously you grew it to be huge. How did you keep going when you're turning up and you've just got 2 lovely people in front of you, but obviously from a fitness instructor's point of view, it can be quite devastating sometimes.
Yeah, I just think sometimes, like we presume, because something that we post on social media, or like, you know, one post and that's the be all and end all, that everybody sees it. And they don't. Sometimes you've got to give it time, I feel. Don't just quit at the first hurdle. I'm very sort of like, no, I know what we're doing is good. I know that it's giving people a good feeling. And I think, like, give it time and it will build up momentum, because word of mouth is really important. And you know, if we all just quit at the first jump, I think it's not, you know, that it doesn't work like that, does it? Not everybody's seen you. And still to this day, like I say, we've been going since 2018. And I know from this last weekend at IFS, I said at the beginning of both sessions, has anybody heard of Rockbox or done Rockbox before? And I'd say 80% of the room put their hand up that they'd not done it, which is brilliant, I feel, because I still feel like we're only just at the start, especially because of lockdown sort of put a halt to everything. And it's a big old world out there. And just because you're sort of thinking, oh, I'm known here, doesn't necessarily mean that you're known everywhere. So I feel like that. I feel like as a brand, it's back to that. Oh, I'm still only got them couple of people in this class. There's so much more as a brand we can achieve and do. I do feel that. And so again, I'm not going to give up and I'm just going to keep growing it.
Yeah, you can really feel like your passion, and like you said, you're so ambitious. So just before the podcast started, we were talking all about what Jade does. So you've got your studio with your different classes,
Yeah.
you're running Rockbox full time, and also you own a pub as well. So yeah, your life must be so busy. What does it look like in an average week for Jade? What's an average week like for you?
Yeah. Do you remember Challenge Annika? You're old enough to remember that. So like
No, tell
every
me.
day is like sort of you've got to write everything down so you don't forget, so I don't miss anything.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yep, I do that.
Planning is very important. I'm just going to open my back door for the dog, if that's okay. It's literally
Yeah,
behind the
yeah,
camera,
absolutely.
just because I know he's looking at me, and in a minute he's going to bark. He doesn't bark much, but he does to talk, and he obviously wants to go out in the sunshine. I'll be straight back.
Yes, Freddie wants to go out. You need to
Yeah,
let him
I'm
out.
back. I'm back. That's
Oh my
better.
gosh, that was so fast.
Yeah, it's literally behind the camera. That's why I just thought it's going to be easier to just do it than wait till he starts barking at us. He'll be straight back in now. It's just to be awkward. But yeah, so where were we? Oh yeah, day in the life of Jade. Yeah, so full time work wise, I teach most days myself because I love it. I absolutely love teaching at my studio, and we have like it's such a great place that's become really important to me. Not a competitive environment. Everybody cheers everybody else on. It doesn't matter, your fitness level, your age, who you are, male, female. It's such a good environment. No cliques, and that was really important to me because again, coming from the boxing background, as much as I loved the sport, it's a very lonely sport. And in that environment, it can be very competitive. And that side of it I didn't enjoy. As I was saying, I was motivating the girl in the ring with me, like encouraging her.
Come beat me up.
We can do this. Let's make it the best fight ever. Come on. Like, giving it some. But yeah, silly. But I know, but that was really important in my head. Make an environment for people to come to that it's just a laugh and we forget we're actually working out, if that makes sense. Let's not make it too competitive. And I feel that's worked. So that was, we opened the studio in 2020 in the January, and we was closed by the March.
No. Oh
Yes,
my
that was pretty
gosh.
scary. Actually, probably benefited us because before that we was doing the halls, and of course, once we decided to take on a studio, we'd got our own venue, which meant that we could get the grants because we'd got a base and we'd got a rate bill. Whereas if we'd have still been in the halls, we wouldn't have got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was quite a turning point. Obviously, we still had to pay the rents and everything. We was closed for some time, but now I feel this year more than ever is suddenly took a turn and it's come back round. And I think people are struggling out there, and it's pretty stressful. And so including myself, we get to that studio and forget about the world out there and just have a laugh and feel good for that hour, or sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes they do back to back 1, 2, 3 classes and stay with me. And it's just a nice environment to be in, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. It's just fun. And the busiest class still to this day out of all the classes is Rockbox. It's always full. We do a hybrid still. We're still online because we've kept a lot of people from the lockdown days. Yeah. So we actually do a hybrid where people can join in from wherever at our studio and our Rockbox classes.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, so we've not just sort of abandoned those that we found along the way. We've kept them with us.
Taking everyone along the journey. Do you have
Yeah.
other instructors teaching at your studio, or is it just you, Jade?
No, it's I've got a lovely team at the minute. I've got Sophie, who helps me with spin classes, excuse me, and then Ali and Nick, who both help me with either Rockbox cover if I need it, if I'm off at events and things. I don't like to give away my Rockbox classes very easy, don't get me. But I have to sometimes, and I've got to learn to have more help. And you know, and they teach, and Ali also teaches a few of the classes for me as well. So yeah, so I do have the odd one day off. I'm off today. So but that's then usually filled with choreo practice for the instructors, doing new choreo or paperwork or, you know, all that goes with being self-employed. But I am used to that, as I say, because of being the business side of things prior to doing the fitness side of things. I was working 12 hours in pubs and, you know, if not more, you know, and it's 7 days a week, it's holidays, it's Christmas Day, it's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It's, you know, I'm used to that level of work because of running those businesses. You've no choice. And when it's your own, you know, have to do everything and be everything. So this feels a little bit actually in a weird way less because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like work half the time because I love it so much, and that's why I knew I sold my. I know I'm still involved in the pub now, but I don't have to day to day do the work. I've got managers in, so it was when I was running my hotel I got really low. I was dreading going to work every day. I got really in quite a dark place, if I'm honest, about it, and like Rockbox was literally keeping me going. But I dreaded going to my other job. I was getting bad anxiety as well with it. Can't explain it. I just knew I was done. Just the worry, money, staff. I had a lot of staff under me. Having a hotel's a big responsibility. I was worrying, what if this happened? I would be in the night, middle of the night, worrying like, what if something happens there? What if somebody's left a candle like, you know, what if I don't get up in time to go and serve breakfast and they're all in the darkness in the hotel, and so I wouldn't sleep properly, worrying. It became too much, and I knew I was done, and I got to make that change. So I thought I'm going to obviously sell the business and go to do what I'm loving full time, which is Rockbox the brand and teaching classes. So that's when I made that decision, and that was 2020. No, 2019. Yeah, just before lockdown. I
Yeah.
just sold the business. Yeah, and it's completely changed my life. Like, I love going to work every day.
Yeah.
Love the people I'm around. I'm not getting shouted abuse at anymore. You know, if you serve them, literally, I got screamed at one day for giving a lady 2 poached eggs instead of 1 because she'd said, I want poached egg on toast. Like, ridiculous. I'm not saying it was all bad, don't get me wrong, there's some lovely people in that trade, but it's quite a tough job. You can be spoken to really awfully, and people don't treat you as humans sometimes in that job. It's hard. And because I was quite young as well, I think they didn't see me as the manager, as the owner, half the time, especially when I first opened a pub at 21. You know, it's unusual to see a landlady at 21 years old.
Yeah.
My other thing was, and I think it's made me more ambitious. Tell me if I'm waffling on, by the way, feel free to cut me off.
Oh my gosh, no, not at all. This is so, no, you go ahead. This is so
But this
interesting.
is really important, I feel, to tell this part of my journey. So I went after selling my first pub that I had at 21. Didn't I really know what I wanted to do, and sort of was a bit lost. But I've always sort of, from my mum and dad, I've always worked. I've always been brought up to graft work. I used to work on a fruit and veg stall with my dad when I was 6. And we've always done for us, like not kind of necessarily worked for other people. I've always been self-employed, and then I had that gap in between. I didn't know what to do, but I didn't want to not work, so I went to manage a pub for someone. And during that time, I fell pregnant. I was 26, so I wasn't young. And the owner of the pub sat me down and had a meeting with me after I'd explained to him that I was pregnant. I can still work. I'm happy to still do my job. But, this is happening. And he sat me down and said, I'm really disappointed in you. I didn't think you was like that. And 26-year-old woman being scorned for becoming pregnant, that happened to me. And I went to the doctor's appointment that I was going to just from work that day, just happened to be. And I got to the doctor's and all emotions just came out and I burst into tears and explained what had happened. And he offered me antidepressants. I said, I'm not depressed, I'm hormonal and I've just been spoken to like rubbish. I don't want your tablets. I just needed to let that out. And he signed me off work. So I was on £85 a week and a baby on the way.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'd got to do something. And at 6.5 months pregnant, I used to drive past going to this work, a boarded up pub. And so I decided I'm going to open that and run it and work there on my own. And that's what I did. So at 6.5 months pregnant, I opened up the pub, and that's the pub I've still got to this day. And then my son came along, and when I was told he was disappointed in me, it's the best thing I ever did. I have the most amazing kid. I'm so lucky. He's 15. He's now my gig buddy. We was at Rock City last night at the front, jumping about like loonies, living our best life. He self-taught himself guitar. He's got a rock band. He's like mini me, but passionate, works hard, just a really nice person as well. So he was the best thing I ever did. And it just made me more determined to not just be like, well, this is it then. No, I'm going to show you that I'm still capable. I'm still able. You can't deem me useless because I'm a pregnant woman. I will show you. And that's exactly what I did. And like I say, my son's now 16 next week. So the pub's, we've had that 16 years now. So I wasn't that useless, was I?
Not at all. That's an incredible story. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that.
I think people don't always know, where you come from and why you can be sort of a strong, independent woman. It doesn't, and we joke about letting out aggression and being angry and things, but, there's always a story. Everybody has one. There's always something that you've come from that's made you tough.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like with your story as well, Jade, there's a common theme. Like every time you've been faced with any adversity, whatever that is, you pick yourself up and you come back stronger and even more determined than before. So I just want to say, I think you're amazing. You're so strong. You really are.
I think we all are. I think we all have a story, and I think, anybody that's created something and had confidence to go, do you like this and what I do, and do you want to be a part of it, like yourself, creating a brand. You've got to be quite tough skinned to do something like that. You've got to be ambitious. You've got to be brave. Yeah. It's not easy. It didn't just happen overnight. You've got to put the work in. You've got to be willing, and still to this day. But I'm happy to do that if that thing is helping not only me massively in my life. I'm so much calmer now. I'm so much less snappy. I deal with situations better because of the fitness that I've found, and you might come to Rockbox and it not be for you, but you might go to Yogascape and find that's for you and that's your thing. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? There should be something for everybody. And you might like a bit of both. Like we work with so many other brands now, rather than, again, it's this competition thing that I'm so anti, like I'm not, against you or you're not against me. Let's work together. Let's make something amazing in this industry and all support each other. Rather than, we can't speak to them because they're doing something similar. I don't own the rights to rock music. I don't own the rights to boxing or to drumsticks, but, each to their own, whatever you want to do. But if you're confident and brave enough in your concept and your brand, there's room for us all. There's a lane for us all. And we should just celebrate each other's wins, I feel.
I feel that too. And that was actually one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast. Well, what it is, it's just to help other instructors and people in our industry, because I think there's been such high level of almost competitiveness or cattiness, however you want to look at it, for such a long time
Yeah.
that I think it's time, and I really feel like it's changing now. I really do.
I do.
It's time to actually support each other, and women supporting women. And this is my favorite saying, and I always stand by it. But a rising tide lifts all ships. Like we're all going, and we're all going together. This is that's where I come from anyway.
Yeah, and I'm so lucky, I feel that I don't know if I've come along at the right time, or I don't know if I've brought a little bit of this to this environment. I hope so, but I don't feel like alone in it. Like I said, mentioning Claire earlier, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you if it wasn't for her help and her step up and her support. I wouldn't, have learned from so many. I could name a million, but there's so many women that have supported me in this industry that are brands themselves and have never made me feel like, oh, we can't disclose this because that may, they might do better than us. And I've never felt that. I'm so lucky, I feel, that I've had so many supportive people of our brand and myself personally around. And whether that, I don't believe it's false. I genuinely don't. Of course, I'm not stupid, and I know some people might say something to you and say something completely different to others. That's life, but I feel like there's a lot of good in our industry. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of supportive people. Don't be scared to ask for help or like advice. Or, how did you do that? Like, or we can't ask them because, or they'll not tell us. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's good to work and network and support each other. I've recently been doing mentoring with Claire Burlinson from Clubber Size.
Oh
And that's been incredible and a massive help to me. And she didn't have to do that, But yeah, she's been amazing. I'm so lucky. I do feel that. And I'm really glad that I'm in an industry that literally lifts people up and, we lift each other up.
yeah, definitely. I totally agree. I'm so behind all of that. I feel like we can all learn something from each other wherever you are at your stage in making your brand or doing your fitness classes, whether you're first getting started or you are getting up there on stages at these big fitness conventions. We can all learn something from each other and take something from each other. I think it's important to share it because,
Yeah.
by holding it in and not sharing it, who are you helping? I don't know. That's my mindset anyway. Just help as many people as you can. You're never gonna dim your own light by lighting up other people's.
100%. Totally agree. Totally agree.
Oh, good. We're in it together, Jade. Yes.
We'll make it
So I'd love to know, where do you want to take Rockbox and also future for you in the fitness industry? Where do you see it going in the next, I don't know, 5, 10 years, or even in the next year?
So to me, the brand has become its own entity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Jade Hendon is Rockbox, although I just feel like I'm mum, my baby. I'm really, 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 really passionate about it, and I could never not be a part of it ever. It's literally taken over my life, and I'm so glad it has. So I want to take it as far as it can possibly go, whether that be, always with me presenting. I'm not even concerned of that because eventually, I might, feel young still now at 41, but one of these days that may change. I had a little scary episode with a severe bulging disc a couple of years ago and had to have 2-week complete bed rest. Was so fortunate because of my fitness that I've done since my 30s, not early on, that I didn't have to have the spinal surgery. So I was very fortunate and very grateful for now my body, and health is wealth, but that might not be forever. So, if other instructors have to come in and take on the reins and they do it, I'm more than happy for that. I don't have to be the face. But I will always support it and let it grow as much as possible because it is really having an impact on people's lives. And I know that, and that's why it's so important for me to get it out to as many people as possible, especially at the minute. There's something in the air, isn't there? There's a lot of stress. We feel it out there. There's a lot of worry. There's a lot of tough times. Maybe it's just because we're getting older and it's adulting's hard, isn't it? It's so hard. And some days are tougher than others, but I feel like if you can find an event that helps you, whether it be walking with your dog, whether it be Rockbox, whatever that event is, it's really important. If you've created something that's helping people to, get it out there because people need you, people need it. I feel that's important of our industry, that we are not celebrated enough for what we are doing for people's lives. Do you feel that?
Totally agree.
Felt it in lockdown. I felt unimportant
Mm,
and forgotten as an industry.
yeah.
And I think a lot of instructors felt like that. And we were sort of the last to sort of be let out. Gyms opening straight away, but you couldn't do group X.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Anyway, but I feel that if you've created something that's helping people in whatever way, you've got to push it. So I will work my butt off to do that and to get it out to more countries, to working on other projects as well as group fitness, which I'm already doing, and I encourage my instructors to do because it's other avenues of income. But we're funded on the mental health unit locally. To work weekly. We do classes with adults with additional needs. We do substance abuse and veterans work in the group community, and the impact it's having on them. They end up usually coming to our sessions once they've found it, because they've found something for them that they can allow that whatever's being held in, that constant, no, I'm fine, it's fine, I'm fine. They don't have to do that in Rockbox. They can let it all out. It's healthy, it's good for you. And then you leave skipping out the door because you've let it out. You have a rage for an hour and then they go off and they feel better for it. But yeah, I'm on a mission. I'm definitely a woman on a mission, and as I've said before, I don't usually let things stop me getting, what I want to, and where I want it to get. So I will make it happen as much as I can, with a great team around me, with a great support team around me. I couldn't do it on my own, absolutely not. But I'm very fortunate to have a lot of people that have a lot of love for Rockbox and want to see it succeed just as much as I do, and they're all helping me each individually. I've got instructors that support people that come to my classes, family. So yeah, I've got a good network around me. You need that. You do need that.
You do. You got a huge community all pushing Rockbox forward, going worldwide. So that's the big goal. That's the big aim.
That's the plan. We've got classes now in Australia, which is amazing.
Wow.
But we're wanting to get out to more events further afield in the next few years is the plan. We're looking at so the one in Germany coming up next year. Is it FIBO? I never know how to pronounce it.
I've never heard of it. That's exciting.
Yeah, so we're looking at completely sort of translating the class as well, the concept. So
Wow.
instructors that are obviously fluent in whether it be German, French, Spanish, so not just taking it out in English. Yeah, on a mission, woman on a mission.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch this journey. I feel like you're really going further. Like you've already come so far, but you are going places with Rockbox.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
You're not done. No, you're not done. And I'd encourage you to keep going. No, it's really incredible to hear where you've come from and how at the very start, how you weren't even interested in the fitness industry. And now you're helping so many people change their lives, not just physically, but really with that mental and emotional side, which I totally agree we need now. I think we live in society that just really forces us into stress and anxiety that we're not taught how to deal with. So that's up to us, and as brands like with Rockbox, Yogascape, and all other brands to help people deal with their physical fitness, but most importantly, what's going on inside here. Yeah,
it's hard. It's not easy to find, what works for you as well. Not always run to medication as well, but if needed, it's needed. But to find other ways, and we had feedback from the hospital saying, "What is this Rockbox thing?" from some of the doctors, because some of the people on the unit was asking not to be medicated on Wednesdays, so they could join in the class, which is amazing. You know, that is in itself, right? We need to get this class out. You know, it needs to be on prescription.
Totally. Yeah, definitely. The thing is, it's something for long term as well, something that people can continue with, get them off the medication and continue with this on a regular basis, going to your Rockbox class every
Release them
week.
endorphins, let it out, whatever, you know, your fitness is, whatever you find, because I think that was my thing. There was nothing really for me. I'd
Yeah.
not found anything until I created it. And that might happen again with somebody else. They might be inspired by this and think, actually, yeah, you know, what if we put this together and this together? Would that work? Give it a try and see, because anything that gets you moving makes people feel good. And whatever, if you are like me or massively motivated by music, I can't do anything without music on. I literally can't, you know, I hate like quiet, and we normally got constant, like my son playing guitar upstairs or radio on, or, you know, listening to tracks. I love making playlists, absolutely love making playlists. So yeah, I think if you are that and you've not found your thing yet, you know, maybe be inspired by that and create something else. So there's something else on the table for people that also will be, oh wow, that's, yeah, why hasn't this been done before? You know?
Totally. Totally. I agree. There needs to be more out there, more things that people can connect with. So
Yeah.
on that note, if people want to connect with you and find out more about Rockbox, where can they get more information and follow you?
Yeah, so we're on social media such as Instagram, Facebook. We've got a great community on there, and we tend to share when we've been to events or just inspiring posts or just something to make you laugh. It's never, you know, too serious. And then also our website, rockboxfitness.co.uk, where you can sign up to training. We have our merch store, which a lot of people like the clothing because it's sort of, you know, the logo is fun. We sell, we've just created, but they're not on the website yet because I've already sold out without advertising, which is amazing. And I've had to order another shipment, is weighted gloves.
Oh,
Not
great.
just a small weight, they're just 0.5 kg. Just so those that want to sort of intensify the workout a little bit, they can still punch out to them because it's not a silly heavy weight. You can use the drumsticks and feel a little bit more burn in the arms. But they've all sold, they've all gone. So I can't even put them on the website yet, but they will be coming. A new batch will be coming in the next couple of weeks. So look out for those. They look amazing as well. And they're really comfy because the weight's in the hand rather than around the wrist.
Yeah.
So we've got them designed and created. So yeah, so they can go shopping on there, or they can sign up to the training, or just get in touch and find out where, if there's a class locally to them. We don't do any pre-recorded classes. Find it really important to support our instructors. So we encourage people to go to the community fitness classes over doing online. However, if there's not a class in their area yet, as I mentioned earlier, they can do the hybrid one with me and the team at the WellFit, or they can join in sometimes with other instructors locally online as well. So there's plenty of choice for people to get rocking out with us.
That's so great. Oh, well, I just want to say thank you so, so much for coming on the podcast. It's been such a brilliant chat. Thank
No,
you
thank
again.
you for having me. I've loved it. It's good to have a good natter on a Saturday morning. Not doing classes as well. I managed to get the day off this week, and yeah, so it's been nice. Thank you for having me. And
Oh.
yeah, and I hope to see you. When are you next at an event? Have we got another one coming up soon?
Yeah, I'm at Ribby Hall. Are you going?
Yeah, of course. I'll say that's you know, the first one we ever did, and so I will always support that event. We love to support them all, but yeah, we will always be there. I'll be teaching Rockbox with the team on 2 sessions, and then I'm also teaching spin there as well, which I love.
Oh, great. That'll be good.
Yeah, love
Oh,
making playlists for spin, so that's going to be good. It's not all rock based either. I might be, you know, a rock chick, but I love a bit of cheese as well. Not going to lie.
oh, I'll have to come along.
And
Yeah,
if
I'm
you're
doing two
not
sessions as
clashing, I
well.
am coming to your session.
Yeah, do it, do it. So I'm on the Saturday at 11 and Sunday I'm in the big room at 1. Saturday's in the smaller room. Sunday's in the big one, the main one.
Might be Sunday then.
Yeah.
Got to be on my best behaviour at the party night because I'm on at 9 o'clock Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's been straight after.
Or
Push
you
me
can
up.
just go and like punch out the hangover.
Oh yeah, it's the best hangover cure. Best, sweat it out. Sweat it
Yeah,
out.
totally. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I
Thank
can't wait to
you.
see you there, Jade. I've loved this. I've really enjoyed our chat. It's been great.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, totally. I'll be well up for that. Yeah. And if you enjoyed that episode, please like, subscribe, and share us on your socials at Yogascape Official or at Lorna Marie Fitness Official. Thank you so much for listening, and I really hope this has been a source of inspiration for you.